World War I was a global conflict of unprecedented scale. It started in 1914 and embroiled Europe in a bloody struggle. The war soon spread, drawing in nations from around the world. Millions of soldiers and civilians perished in the trenches and on battlefields across Europe. New technologies like machine guns and poison gas made the war incredibly deadly. The world watched in horror as the conflict dragged on for years. Hopes for a quick victory faded as the war became a grinding stalemate. By 1918, after years of fighting, the war had reached a turning point. Exhaustion and dwindling resources plagued all sides. By late 1918, Germany faced a dire situation. Years of fighting had taken a heavy toll. The German economy was in shambles. The Allied blockade was causing widespread food shortages and civilian suffering. Morale on the home front had plummeted. On the battlefield, the tide had turned against Germany. The arrival of fresh American troops on the Western Front bolstered the Allied forces. The German army suffered a series of defeats. It became clear that victory was no longer possible. Internal unrest grew within Germany as calls for peace intensified. Facing mounting pressure both at home and on the battlefield, Germany began seeking an armistice. Negotiations with the Allies, led by French Marshal Ferdinand Foch, took place in a railway carriage in Compiègne, France. The armistice was signed on November 11, 1918 at 5 o'clock in the morning. The terms of the armistice were harsh for Germany. They included the withdrawal from occupied territories, surrender of vast amounts of military equipment, and acceptance of responsibility for the war. At 11 o'clock in the morning on November 11, 1918, the guns fell silent on the Western Front. The Great War was over. Section 4. A New World Order. The armistice marked the end of fighting, but it also signaled the beginning of a new era. The war had reshaped the political landscape of Europe. Empires crumbled and new nations emerged. Germany, burdened by the terms of the armistice, faced a difficult future. The Treaty of Versailles, signed in 1919, officially ended the war. The treaty imposed heavy reparations on Germany and limited its military capabilities. The war's end also ushered in a period of profound social and economic change. The world grappled with the devastating human cost of the conflict and the challenges of rebuilding. Section 5. A legacy of loss. The First World War was a cataclysmic event that left a lasting legacy. Over 10 million soldiers and millions of civilians lost their lives. The war's end did not erase the pain and suffering it caused. The armistice, however, offered a glimmer of hope for a more peaceful future. The memory of the war served as a stark reminder of the human cost of conflict. Germany's surrender, a pivotal moment in history, marked the end of a devastating chapter. It also underscored the importance of diplomacy and international cooperation in preventing future tragedies.